afternoon, everyone. I know it is Thursday, but today was the MLC vote, and we wanted to be able to touch base with you because we already know that, of course, some of these sleazeballs are already putting out their press releases and trying to take them out. The MLC just put out their press statement about their saying that their motion was passed by like 78%. That it was only approved by a 78%, I think 78% of the members, but I wanted a 79%, they say. So this was the official MLC statement that just came out. It said, the MLC today approved moving forward with the Medicare Advantage PPO agreement.
That's theirs. Their statement. Go ahead.
Between the City of New York and Aetna, with a 79% votes cast in favor of the agreement. We look forward to ensuring a robust quality plan for our retirees and their families, said Nespoli. We will be vigilant in making sure our retirees' welfare remains front and center of the administration of this plan. The MLC is a consortium of 102 municipal unions representing some 385,000 active workers, 250,000 retirees, which together with their collective dependents approximate 1.1 million covered lives. I will let you know this is the first time I am seeing a media contact on a press release by the MLC. So I have never seen this. It's we need to check in where that's coming from, rubenstein.com. But I have not seen a press contact before an MLC agreement. So how did the unions vote? So if you're interested, because I don't want to read this whole list, but I will put this shape. Michelle and I created this together before we came online so that you guys would be able to see how your unions voted. I will actually, will it let me drop a picture? No, it won't let me drop a picture in the chat. I'll go to our page and drop this photo in there, and then you guys can ask us, and we can tell you. So what we thought was very interesting was that the union presidents were concerned with it getting out how they voted, right? Before I get to that, I also want to say something else. You guys have been amazing in this fight, and our fight now starts all over again. This is like 2.0. Ding. But don't be frustrated by that, because I think sometimes the best things in life that you have are things that you fought for to keep, and clearly we're showing them time and time again, because they've never once attacked our messaging. They've always just attacked us. We were called rumps, we were called rogue, we were called spreading misinformation, but they could never itemize exactly what we were doing wrong or what we were saying that was wrong, because everything we were saying is right. On the first half of this meeting, the gentleman from Aetna that was discussing the Medicare Advantage plan by Aetna even talked about he was talking to a retiree that was currently living in a continued care residential community, you know, like we call them stepped communities, how you can go in as independent, transition to assisted nursing and memory care, and that these are run by medical directors, and then their care, you stay within their community for care. Their directors, their doctors, their medical connected communities make the decisions on your care. Right now, the MLC, to tell you how poorly run the Municipal Labor Committee is, and that they make these decisions, once again made a decision without a contract, hearing that it may be difficult for retirees to get a Medigap on the outside, they just didn't care. It was announced that it was difficult to get it on the outside. Even if you were in the state of Florida, it could be difficult because there would be a pre-existing condition situation where you might have to go through getting an examination before you would be approved into the Medigap, and that there are states that wouldn't allow you to transfer in and out of outside of open enrollment. They still didn't care. And the most important part, though, is they did this without seeing the contract one more time. But They were concerned with the view of how it would appear to all of their members, how they voted, and they didn't want it to get out. But it's out. So if you're interested, drop in the chat if you want to know how your union voted. It is right here. And yes, I also want to thank you, because all of you guys learning and doing your homework and sending information to the unions today, I have to say, is the first time I've heard an MLC vote where there were really smart questions that were asked. Now, it didn't get them anywhere. Well, I would say take that. Let me take that back. 25 unions voted no on this proposal. 25. That's more than last time. And the questions that they asked, they are listening to you. They're learning from what you're saying. So don't stop. And then, of course, we're going to keep going forward and press on. But don't think that anything that's been done has been for naught or we lost. We didn't lose yet. We still have fight in this game. So thank you for that, because you taught your former unions the problems that you would experience in this plan, and you made them listen to you, because 25 unions this time voted no. And the questions were definitely questions that came from you all. So drop in the chat any questions, because we only have to stay here till 3 o'clock. We have other meetings we have to get into, but we also want you to know, until I see a few questions, is that our legal team is now waiting for the official announcement to come out from the city, and once we see that, then our legal options, the clock starts to tick, and then that comes next. We also are still working on our bill, which has been in the city council. And we're hoping that by next week, we might be able to potentially push that out. The UFT, Beck Goldhammer, really? You want to know how the UFT voted? Oh, and that was the other thing, right, Michelle, that someone asked, how many votes does the UFT and DC 37 have? And Henry didn't want to answer the question. They don't want you to know their weighted voting structure. What is this vote based on?
Oh, wait,
So,
no, you got to get it right. It's appropriate votes according
Michael
to
calls it,
right.
Michael calls it, it's an appropriate vote because I vote for all of my members. Well, how is he voting yes for all of his members when his members, a large portion of them, don't want this garbage? That's something else, because clearly they rushed this vote so fast, they didn't want to hear from his membership. And the unions listening to this message, because this will also be a separate video coming out later. The UFT announced on, was it Monday? At their meeting, that Michael Mulgrew is going to do exactly what we said he would do, is try to get around the Moratorium Act and create a Medigap plan strictly for just teacher retirees, after causing every union in the city to be in this situation and selling off all of our health care. Michael Mulgrew told his retired teachers he is negotiating a Medigap plan for his teachers as an escape hatch. So you want to talk dirty, for all the unions listening to this, you need to definitely, I would say at this point, there's really no reason to be in the Municipal Labor Committee. I would start pulling out, start MLC 2.0, stop paying dues to this organization, or do what you can do to push back on this vote and on this voting structure. You need one union with a collective bargaining agreement, with their own collective bargaining agreement, needs to make a complaint. And if you're interested in how to do that and how to change the voting structure and make an official complaint to that, please reach out to us. We would be glad to help you do that. You need one union to be able to do it. Are you seeing questions? Has the board digested the responses to the questions asked at the mod presentation of 3.2? I don't know what, I'm assuming you mean the MLC. No, because they were given the answers to those questions late on Monday or Tuesday, late on Monday night or early Tuesday. And then they were given follow-up questions. Half of them, even some of the union presidents even said, I'm abstaining from this vote because I don't have enough information to vote. And that's absolutely horrible to hear that they sent out those questions, they had no discussion period and moved it to a vote immediately. But see, this is where the unions need to step up and push against the unions. The MLC. They cannot keep allowing this to happen. They're allowing them to drive that bus rather than the unions driving the bus. Daniel Hargamy, did you really have to ask? Why did so many unions abstain from voting? So Emily, some of the unions expressed that they abstained because they didn't have information. Some of the other unions abstained because they don't believe that the MLC should have the ability to vote. And actually Henry called out Dave Nicholson from the PBA on this as well. David asked a very poignant question as to the weighted voting structure and what was the number of the people in, why wasn't the abstained votes being counted? I mean, there was some good questioning coming out of that representative. However, Henry didn't want to answer because he didn't vote. Now that's going to have to be, he is still a member of the MLC and he's still attending, he's just choosing not to vote. I am hoping Pat Lynch and Dave Nicholson draft up a complaint against the MLC for not taking those questions and providing that due process. So Dave, if you're listening to this video, because I know you do watch our videos, I do hope that you're doing something about that. Sharon Thomas Dooley says, will there ever be a consequence with Mulgrew commingling funds? Sharon, I don't know what the commingling is that you're talking about because I have no proof of commingling. 25 unions voted no. How many voted yes? So that's another interesting fact. Okay. 13 unions voted yes. 25 unions voted no. Now, hold on. I want to quantify that. Give me 1 second. So, I lost my pen. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 unions outside of DC 37 voted no. The rest of the unions are within the district council. Now, to my understanding, the only in the district council, there's 52 locals. And I believe there's only one union with its own bargaining certificate, and I believe that's 375. Technically, when they do these votes, it has to be an organization with its own bargaining certificate. So those unions would not have a vote on their own, so to speak. The proxy would be, the vote would come from the district council. So to my understanding, that's why it took them. So we have to figure out how long it took them to count the votes, because we were joking that they were probably all taking off their shoes to figure out the count, because it took them so long at the end of the vote to figure out what the voting structure was. They also never announced what the weighted vote was, and they wouldn't answer the question as to how many votes the unions each had, so that you knew what was the value of each of them. So they wouldn't say how many votes DC 37 had or the UFT, and that was a specific question. But even just saying that, 13 unions of the DC that were non-DC 37 unions, 13 unions voted yes, 32 DC 37 unions voted yes. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 unions outside of the district council voted no. And 9 voted yes. If it wasn't a weighted voting structure, it appears that the no votes would have carried in this situation. But because of the weighted vote, it didn't.
Is keeping what we have or paying for it still in the picture? So that's the first question. No.
And the reason
Joe?
why paying for it is not in the picture is because it violates the law. The city is obligated to pay the full cost of health insurance. Again, the unions have been trying to get around the judge's decision. They were finding every which way that they possibly could to get around the court's decision. And the only other alternative they had, because they knew that they couldn't charge for you to keep the plan. And I don't understand why you would want to agree to pay for something like that. The city is obligated under the law to pay for your health care, period. That's what you earned, that's what you paid for, that's what you did years and decades of service in reduced wages to pay for that, to make sure that your health care was premium free. It was never, ever in labor's mind to diminish your health care choices until these people came into office and took over these unions and very greedily, selfishly negotiated away our healthcare for their own purposes. Never. Every time you would see a collective bargaining session or an open enrollment coming in, they were adding plans. Typically in capitalism, competition drives price. If you have more plans in a program, your services are increased and your prices are decreased. It's common knowledge that that's how things run. Like in 1986, I think it was, Koch introduced, or Boblin introduced, like 12 different healthcare plans. Why would you then eliminate it to force everyone into one plan? Michael Vogler doesn't like to be able to, he's always complained he doesn't like negotiating healthcare. It's a pain in the ass for him. But now you've just given him a cash cow, because watch what's going to happen. And we said it the other day. They negotiated away 20-something% of the 80-something% of the prior authorizations. He is going to start negotiating, bringing them back every 2 years for value in his current contract. He's going to sell us off again every couple of years. Can you please share the bill we have before the council? Walter, it's still in draft and I cannot share that bill yet. Once it has a number, you will have it like everybody else. Trust me, we're dying to get it out. It's one vote for every 250 members, Margaret. So for every union, every 250 members, they get one vote. But no one's answering what the district council or the UFT, are they counting retirees in that, or are they not? Like, that's why they wanted the numbers.
Andrew Spiegel, when is this supposed to take effect?
Well, we're hearing two different things, right? We're hearing one September 1st and one October 1st, and then we're hearing January 1st for others. So again, we have to wait for the official notice to come out of the city. This isn't a done deal. This still has to go before the controller to review the contract.
Right.
I can't pull out if the UFT because I still get my medication, glasses, and dental. So, and see, Deborah, you're not going to, what do you mean pull out? Are you saying stop paying your retiree dues to them? Because you won't lose your welfare fund benefits if you stop paying retiree dues. You only lose if you're like, if you purchase like that Mercer catastrophic plan, that's all you would lose. Pull out, if you left the city program, to our understanding, in your situation, you would lose your drug plan because you don't get it through the welfare fund, but you still maintain your welfare fund benefits. Margaret, there's nothing for the council to move on. Our bill doesn't have a bill number yet. Once it does, then we will work on the council. Trust me when I tell you, our team keeps looking at strict strategy on this, and this is what we keep looking at is the best way to go about doing this. So until there's a bill number, there's nothing for the council to do. And in our opinion, especially from the feedback we've been getting, the council doesn't really want to do anything because they're too afraid of the unions. So they're just going to want us to be able to litigate, and then if we don't win in court, then they'll come in and fix it. But that's at least what they're trying to explain to us. Are we reaching out to 9/11 survivors? Is it Debbie? That's us. Robert's Rules of Order wasn't followed, which, if I remember, should make the vote invalid. Barbara, I'm not really sure which rule you're talking about wasn't followed. I know there was a lot of questioning about procedures today. And I'm hoping other unions that are stakeholders in this process will definitely reach out and say something. But that's their job. I'm sure we could raise some of that in our litigation as well, but that's really the union's job. Yes, and see, court was always what we knew in this situation as retirees because there's no other due process for us. We'd have to go to court to fight this. There really was no other way.
Lisa Lauren, but with MA, the city isn't paying for our health care as the law requires. The feds will be paying it. No, I know we've been saying that.
We know. Stay tuned, Lisa. Nina Farrell, exactly the new breed of greed in office. Yes, it is, my dear. PBA and fire department have to push back in the MLC to get rid of the weighted vote. Well, Joanne, if you have a way of getting Andy Ansbro and Jim McCarthy and Pat Lynch and Chris Monahan and Paul DiGiacomo, and I forget who the other one is, all to step up and do their job that they should have been doing for all of this time, well, then you let me know, because we've not been able to get them motivated. The one thing we can give them kudos for is they formed a uniform coalition today and they all voted no. So thank them for that. But they've been rather lazy on this. And then Andy Ansbro had the cojones to come out and actually say that part of this was basically our fault because we convinced the council not to change the code. And in the same paragraph, he also said he sent out an email to his members telling them to email the council and not to change the code. Really? So it's our fault, but you guys really could have pushed back and been a little bit stronger in this fight. It's lame, I know. Ellen, I don't know. Ellen asked, do you think the unions who voted against MAP will drop out of the MLC like some unions have in the past? I'm not sure. It would be nice if they were to be able to plan together to push back. Really, one union with its own bargaining certificate can file a complaint today over the voting structure. Today, they could do that. They could have done it yesterday, last week, last month, last year. But today, they could do it even more. And we put it out there. They're just not listening. Harriet, yes, all the plans are gone because the unions negotiated away all the plans.
Did Mulgrew work for the cartels before the UFT?
No more gas. MAP will be a disaster for older retirees. I'm in my 80s. Trust me, I don't think we're going anywhere. Even though we're retired, I honestly, we can't stop fighting this and we can't go away. We need to be vigilant that hopefully we could fight this, stop it, roll it back. And if we are forced into this situation, we need to make it crystal clear every single retiree that is harmed by this plan needs to be in front center in the spotlight, and then and point blame put exactly on the people that supported this by name until they fix it. Carolyn Greenwood, please repeat what you said about the catastrophic plan that you mentioned. So Carolyn, in the UFT, they typically tie your union dues to being able to get a benefit from them. It's how they keep you. They don't just say, if you want to be in our retiree group, just pay a dues. Basically what they say is they tie it to a benefit to keep you, because if you then cancel your dues, you lose that benefit. Those are not your welfare fund benefits. They have to provide you those welfare fund benefits, whether you're a dues paying member of the UFT or not. But the plan, I believe that and the teachers, you can chirp in on this. I believe with the teachers, it is tied to your catastrophic plan. It used to be by Mercer. I think it's under another name. But I also don't know exactly if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, if that plan will even be worth it anymore. Those are questions you guys need to find out. Lisa Lauren, here comes the judge. How will this affect folks in the extended service area who currently have Aetna? That plan's gone too. They killed them all. Those people will be enrolled in this. And this plan is different than that plan, even though they said it wasn't. Oh, and that reminds me, you can thank another group of teachers, another group of retired people in Florida. Pardon me for my error. There's a group of retirees in Florida that aligned with Aetna in the last few months and started filming public service announcements on how wonderful their Aetna Medicare Advantage plans is. And most of them were from a group of police officers, to my knowledge. I mean, it could be wrong, but that's what we heard. And so you will start to see those starting hitting social media probably pretty soon. And I'm sure you'll remember some of those faces. But yes, even the police unions are not happy that their own retirees supported this whole process. So when you're upset that the UFT, the RTC chapter supports this, there's also a segment of those police officers that did the same thing. They didn't care about choice. They just wanted their Aetna.
Ms. Foley better rethink this since he is real close to needing long-term care, that prick.
Well, Ms. Foley probably makes close to $500,000 in salary. He's not really gonna care.
Well, those charges add up quick, you know.
Giovanna, that was actually a very good question. Are our spouses also covered? Do they still get back the monthly deduction in April? So Henry Garrido stopped all questioning regarding the under 65 spouse plans or dependent plans. He refused to answer any question about that.
I think the response was, this is about Medicare Advantage only. We are not answering any questions of people under 65.
Yep. But the short answer to your question is, as long as you stay in their Medicare Advantage plan, you will then get your reimbursement back. If the vote wasn't proper, can't we make a complaint? Keith, no. You can't, we can't, the active unions have to. So this is where you start calling your former union and tell them that they need to file an improper practice or a complaint with OCB regarding the voting structure. And if they need to know if they need to know what the specific part is to make the complaint, let us know. We'll be glad to fill them in. Or if you want to, just tell them to go to Administrative Code 12-313 and follow the procedure at Office of Collective Bargaining. It's a phone call, and they'll tell you exactly how to do it. Administrative Code 313, 12-313. The losers are GHI Senior Care Express Scripts. Wonder if they will offer us a deal. Remember something, Karen, getting out of the system is what's going to harm us. If you get out of this plan, and this is how that they are going to try to capture you, keep you, again, tying you to a benefit, to a healthcare benefit. Hi, girls, I'm retired 3 years from DSNY. Wanted to know what happened today. Thank you. So Mike, you can thank both sanitation unions as well for contributing to this, because both sanitation unions voted to do this to us. Yes, thank you, Annette. Everyone needs to donate. Just don't sit back and people say don't donate. Some people donate. So yes, this is where we're going to start stepping up fundraising, because now we are for sure headed to court again. And this is on top of our 2 cases that we currently have in court right now. So anything you guys can keep doing, we will make sure that that this will, and we will let you know as we get closer, because we knew this day was coming. Michelle and Jake and Carol and Ralph and myself have been working and preparing for this day, because we kind of figured this was going to happen. But the attorneys are ready, and we're just waiting to see what the city rolls out.
So Karen, Becca, and Marcelo says, interesting nonsense. UFT email says no information is finalized, yet they voted for it. So once again, yes, a vote went through, but they have no information on it. Okay, so you know, so let me sell you a Ford Pinto, and we all know what happened with those cars, you know, back in the day. You know, you know.
Yep.
You know, or sell you a ticket on the Titanic, unfortunately.
And that's the crazy thing, is they did this without ever even seeing the contract one more time. I mean,
right.
that's just absolutely horrible. Would you buy a house without seeing the contract? Would you buy a car without seeing the contract? You just forced all your most vulnerable population into a healthcare plan without seeing the contract.
Right. So again, nothing's been finalized, but they voted. So I don't understand that. I really don't. So right now there's nothing to opt out of, because nothing is there. So again, we, you know, please don't panic. We knew this was going to, we knew this was going to happen. So we've been working on this with the legal team for a couple of weeks now, actually longer, but we've been tightening it up So really, just, this is just.
Remember, yeah, Michelle's right, 100%. It's going to be just like the last time. If they pass the vote like they did the last time, then the contract has to go to the controller. We're working on that aspect too. Then, and then still there's a rollout process, and then there's litigation. There's potentially a temporary restraining order. I mean, so you have to just this is the sucky part, because it starts all over. But see, most of you were with us the first time, so this should be like, lawsuit 2.0, where we've been down this road. We've got this. Yes, keep everything that you get from your union, from their website, from their email, it all. Every city document they send you, and date when they give it to you. Start today. When they start putting this crap out, start saving it, because we're gonna need it.
Right, because we know for a fact stuff goes up and then it disappears.
Yep.
So
Right. Yes, and start making a habit of checking the OLR website on a daily basis. And then Aetna said that they were going to start putting out their doctor directory, because another president asked about the doctor directory. Why are we doing this without having a doctor directory to see if our doctors are in the plan? Oh, yeah, we'll get it to you. What you could start to do preliminarily, because Sabrina, the lady from Aetna today, announced to them that the directory is basically the same, except that it's customized, because they added MSK and HSS, Hospital Special Surgery and Memorial Sloan Kettering. So Michelle will find the link that she shared with me the other day. She will make a post. We are going to make a script for you to start calling your doctor's offices and speaking to billing. You are going to ask very specific questions. Now, this is the first run at this. When the city puts out something different, this might change and you might need to do it again. But we want you to start looking at whether or not your doctors will accept a Medicare Advantage PPO ESA plan, PPO plan, Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO plan. And then we want to know if they'll accept it, or are they in the network, or will they accept it for payment? And those are the two questions we need to ask them. So don't stress out. Don't worry about writing this down. We are going to write this up for you. We will post it with the link. And then you guys will start making those phone calls to start asking your doctors. And then we're going to do what we did the last time, is probably start doing affidavits and getting those in to show that your doctors are not accepting it for payment and they're not in the network. If they express to you that they want to be in the network, that's one thing. If they tell you, no way in hell, no way, I'm not taking it for payment, I'm not taking it for anything, I'm not taking any Medicare Advantage plan, those would all be important details. But we're going to very carefully script this for you, so you know exactly what to say, just like we did the first time. When did we do that? It was like August, September of 21, right? It's been a while, but we'll script that for you.
Right. And yeah, Joanne, you're right. Mulgrew said, oh, give Aetna 2 weeks before we call. Okay, that's fine. And, but what's funny is they wouldn't even give a list of the doctors that were in network, because there were some union heads that were asking for the list before the vote, and they refused they said, yeah, sure, we'll give it to you, but then it never happened before the vote. So
right. And then Stephen Fisher says, I checked with Aetna's website and put in the doctor's names. Each one came up as within the network. Aetna network didn't specify plans, but at least in Aetna coverage. Now, Stephen, this is really important, because this is what happened the last time. The doctors show up as being in the Aetna network. You need to call the doctors and ask them, are they accepting an Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO plan? Or are you accepting it for payment? Because what Michelle and I can tell you we learned from the last time they did this was that they were saying that they were in Anthem's network. That just meant that they were accepting an Anthem product, not that they were accepting the Medicare Advantage plan. So you must be specific. And this is what we kept saying to them, is they're telling you they're in the Aetna network, but they're not accepting this plan. Aetna has hundreds of plans, but they have to be, your doctor, your provider, your hospital has to accept this Aetna Medicare Advantage PPO, period.
again, just don't get crazy, or we'll have a script written, give them time, let them get their information together, their contract, because again, so there's no, it's not that it's a rush, but just let's not
Yep.
get crazy,
And so Harriet asks, when the new lawsuit starts, they can't do anything correct. Harriet, that is only if we are granted an injunction. So
Right.
we'll come back with more info, but Michelle and I both have to get running because it's after 3. But we will be back again tomorrow with more questions. So hold your questions for us. We will come back and answer those. But like she said, and I said earlier, don't stress out. We're going to be walking with you this whole process. We'll give you more homework to do. Don't worry.
All hold hands and a big chain, and we'll walk through this and skip down the road together. It's okay. We'll be all right. And, we'll take care of this. We'll just, like I said, don't, we'll work together. Listen, this is not the first rodeo. We learn, we assimilated. They're assimilating because they're learning from us, so that's okay. But hey,
So hang in there. Please don't stress out and get anxious. This is just an announcement that they're making. There's still more processes that have to go through. We will keep you updated towards the process, and then we will follow back up with you guys tomorrow, probably with a little bit more information than we have today. But I'm good. You good?
yeah, okay. So again, there is no contract that we know of. So if there's no information going out by the UFT to their members as we speak, we don't even know if there's a contract because nobody has seen it. So
Nope.
as soon as we find out, we'll let you know, okay? So other than that, everybody, woosah, we knew this was coming. Okay? And we'll have
All
more
right.
for you.
Hang tight. Michelle and I will see you tomorrow night, and we'll chat with you later. Have a
Right,
good night,
still
guys.
no co-pays, okay?
Still no co-pays, right, Lainey? I answered her.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you